Because you can come to this door and you can see who's outside, but if you go to this door, you don't know who's coming in or who's coming out. So Jesus said, you're going to have to just believe me. Because here I am. And the reason why I can allow him to come in is because I heard about him. I heard about his credentials, and I heard that he has great benefits. See, a lot of us, we have signed insurance policies that we really don't understand until we go and do something. We go and say, well, that seems like that is the policy that I need. So you fill out the policy and just stick it in an envelope and stick it underneath your bed or mattress or whatever it is that you do with it so nobody else won't have accessibility to it. But not only do they not have accessibility to it, you don't even have accessibility to it. Because if you did when you were going through what you were going through, you would open up your policy and read what your policy tells you when you're in need of something. When you find yourself hurt, your policy is going to tell you what you need. When you're broken, your policy is going to tell you how to get fixed. But we take it for granted and we pay the monthly payments. And then not realizing that when something does take place, because you didn't read the policy, you're going to get mad at the individual because now the policy doesn't cover everything that you thought it was going to cover. But he's saying, I stand at the door and knock, and I give you accessibility if you allow me to come in and fellowship with you so I can read your policy too. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? See, the reason why some of them go through so much is because we have not opened up our policies enough to see what our full coverage. I don't need partial coverage. You know how it is when you get your car and you say, well, I don't really need full coverage. Well, as soon as something happens, you say, I should have got full coverage. You know what I'm saying? See, when you allow Jesus to come into your life, he mandated and gave you full coverage to the policy. But the problem is we're not opening up the policy to read it. He said, I stand at the door and I'm knocking at your door because each and every one of us have a policy. Our policies aren't the same. Because what you might need for you, I might not need for me. I might not have high blood pressure. So here we go. We understand that we must get past being saved and think that the work is complete. Uh-oh, I don't mess some folks up now. Some people say, he ain't preaching Bible. Well, see, the problem with a lot of us is that we have got to a point that as soon as we get saved, we feel like that's all we need. But what happened to the sanctification part? Because now that you're saved, you're still going to be set apart for the service of the King and the Lord of Lords. So here I am. And the purpose of why I'm here is to prepare you to move into another level, into another realm, and into another dimension in God. So what God will do, since you don't read your policy, He will give you a servant that will read the policy for you. Oh, you ain't missed all of that. Y'all know when the insurance man comes to your house, they'll try to tell you about the policy, because they already know in regard to most of you ain't going to read it anyhow. So what God does, since He loves us so much, and since He has charity for us, He says, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis or a quick summary about your policy, because in reality, I know you're not going to read it till you really need it, but I'm going to just let you know that if you ever need me for anything, understand I will never leave you or I will never forsake you. Understand when you're really going through, understand that you're more than a conqueror. This is in your policy, but you don't understand that. Greater is He that is is in me than he that is in the world. See, but you're not reading your policy, so you don't understand what is really. Here I am. Why am I here? I'm here to lift you up and to encourage you and to undergird you and let you know it doesn't matter what you're going through. Just continue to keep reading your policy. Because what happens is that if you keep your policy long enough, what you were paying in the beginning, as time goes on, your policy fees will be decreased. But the effectiveness of the policy will increase. Somebody will get that in a minute. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but I'm trying to give you revelation. Because you might have started out paying $60 or $75 a month, but as you keep the policy and you stay faithful to the policy, what will happen is the giver of the policy will then eventually allow you to reap the benefits of what you've been paying for. You mean to tell me when I was paying $65 or $70 a month, now it's going to drop down to $45? That's because he's giving you benefits with a policy that you might not use right now, but you know eventually you will need this policy later on. But here I am, standing at the door, and I'm just knocking to see if you will allow me to come in. But you know that song that the wife say, tomorrow? I think about it tomorrow, because right now I don't really need this. Why do I need a policy where in case I go on my job and I break my leg, I'm going to need some disability for a moment because now I can't work? But you had opportunities to sign the policy. But when you didn't sign the policy, what happened now, you got to sit there and no income's coming in your house. And the first thing you say is, I should have done that. Procrastinators. Thinking, if I fully let it come in, and allow him to reside in my house, we're going to begin to fellowship. I don't mind hanging with the fellows, but I don't want to fellowship because fellowship is going to take me into a deeper place to get to know more about you. And what the Lord is saying is that you have allowed me to be a guest in your house, but you're not giving me the liberty to fellowship with you. See, that's why when you're going through some stuff and you're not ready to give up, it's because you have not yet created fellowship. Because if you do that, if you invite the one that created the policy to come and live with you, do you think they're going to allow you to be affected by things that you're dealing with in life? If you have full benefits and accessibility to the policy that they gave you, see, what Jesus did with his policy, I'll help somebody go a little bit more simple than that. What Jesus did is that Jesus said, because I love you so much, I'm not going to take ink and a seal to sign the policy. I'm going to take my blood and write on the policy, but not only am I just going to use the blood to seal what I'm getting ready to do, but I'm also going to allow the blood to have an overflow that also will cover you. See, that's that full-time blood policy that some of y'all need to have in your life. So, and since you don't think the policy works, the Bible says that when he was on the cross and he died, and we know the blood came, it says that when he died, it says that the dead saints got up out of their grave to let you know that this is an eternal everlasting supernatural policy that I have for you. See, you got to understand, when you thought you were dead, when you thought you were dead, the policy kicked in, and all of a sudden you found yourself getting up out of that dead situation. Charlie said, Lord, you told me if I kept this policy, I will be okay. But just, oh, no. And as a matter of fact, the same ones that tried to put you in the grave were the same ones that saw you walking around in Jerusalem saying that they had a life policy, and our policy paid off. Yeah. He says, here I am, standing at the door. But will you open up the door long enough for me to come in and be a resident in your life? Y'all don't understand that. It's hard for somebody to tell you how that they can overcome something, or tell you to stay encouraged when they're always broken themselves. It's hard for somebody to tell you that when you're going through, just keep your head up. But when God sends you a leader, that regardless of what it looks like around us, they still keep their head up. Because he knows that faith is the substance of things not yet seen. In other words, when you look around you, the enemy will allow you to see stuff around you that looks great. And you're discouraged because your stuff don't look that good. Hey, it's sad when you walk in faith, and you can't understand why in the world you know you walking in faith, and everybody else's stuff is just flowing like milk and honey, and your stuff seems like it's dried up in the honey. And you're trying to figure out, Lord, when is my time going to come? And the enemy will take that thing and cause it to elevate to a bigger and greater dimension in your physical eyesight, because he says, maybe this is how I can discourage them. Because they're going over there, but it seems like they're stagnant over here. But the word lets me know that it says here, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, in verse 9, which say they are Jews and they are not, but do not the whole. I will make them come and worship before thy feet. That means your feet. He's going to make them come and worship at your feet, and to know that I have loved thee. So when you think that it looks bad, when you think that it's stagnant, you seem to think that it seems like nothing's taking place. We've been here for over a year, and still it seems like nothing is happening. Because, first of all, the sacrifice has to begin with you. If you say you're in it, stay in. Because understand, your sacrifice is going to have to become greater than what it is. You can't stay in the same place and not desire an upgrade.